Hello everyone, back out solo again in what feels like forever. Stoked for this camp. Well, I'm going to start the video on a little bit of a sour note. The permanent shelter is no more, gone, finito. Little bit gutted about it, but basically in the 6-week period that I haven't been up there, there's been a forest fire during the heat wave when everything was bone dry. Now before all the negative Nancy's start saying, oh, you shouldn't be building camps in the forest, just to put it into a little bit of perspective for you, a little bit of context. The forest that it was in is a 90,000 acre forest, which was first planted by prisoners of war, and the sole purpose for that forest is to grow trees, to sell them, to cut them down, to have them as material. That's why the forest is there originally. Do I feel bad about making a permanent shelter in a forest that size that isn't actually owned by someone in particular? It's a body, it's a group that own that forest, they manage the land. I don't feel bad about it at all, to be completely honest with you, and I'm going to build another shelter. I feel like that's done for at least now. I might do a subsurface one in the future. A little bit gutted I didn't get to spend more time there or to properly finish it off. It would have been nice to do a camp there in the winter. I had like this vision of coming out when it's been snowing and filming a video there. But yeah, I'm not that gutted about it, to be honest. Every time I go up there I kind of expect it to have been filled in or found or something. I was really happy with the placement that I found. Like, the area to build a shelter was perfect. It's really unfortunate that there was a forest fire up there, but it just goes to show these things can happen. It certainly wasn't down to me or set by myself or anything like that. As you guys can all see in the videos, I always try and look after nature. I always put my fires out correctly, leave no trace, all of that sort of stuff. So today I'm camping out in my friend Lee's shelter. Shout out Lee from Carp to Tarp on Instagram. He knocked this up in a day, fair play to him. So I asked him if I could come and film a little video here and kip on this bed that he's made. So yeah, I'm buzzing to be back out. Like I say, it feels like ages since I've been out on a solo, and it's been such a hectic summer. It's been awesome. I've done so many cool group camps, community camps, bushcraft show, all that sort of stuff. It's been wicked and it's been awesome hanging around with so many cool people. But yeah, I feel like it's just been time to come out on my own, do a little bushcraft forest camp. First things first, I'm going to get my tarp up on this shelter, going to get my bed sorted out. Always appreciate you watching. Let's have a good camp. That's a good bed. Nice one, Lee. There you go then, using the framework and a little bit of cordage. The shelter's not perfectly 3 meters across. I think it was made for another tarp, so I've got a little bit of slack on one side, and then I've just got some hazel pegs pegging it down at the back. But it's looking good, isn't it? So the next bushcraft camp I'm going to build, I think I want to make it a little bit more traditional, have some walls, penning it all in, giving myself an area, probably get 2 beds in there, because when I was building the first shelter, I started before Ben started coming, so I didn't really think about multiple people. We'll make some more furniture. I want to make like a sawhorse this time, a nice big chopping block, get some more chairs and seats, benches, might make a table. In my eyes, it's worth the risk, building somewhere that you might not have permission or you don't own or something. We're not hurting anyone out here, do you know what I mean? We're only building little bases. That's what kids used to do. I wouldn't go build a camp on what I would consider like real private land. You know, if it's quite clearly someone's land that they own and it's a small little woodland or something, I wouldn't build a permanent shelter in. But something of this size, with the chances quite slim of someone finding it, you're only reducing your own fun if you're worried about it. But yeah, just expect it to get found, and if it does, so what, build something else. I've bought something from One Tigris. It's just a piece of material, sturdy cordura, which doubles up as a tripod chair, and you can have it as a floor mat, foot mat, you could sleep on it, bit of a ground sheet. It's pretty cool. I'm going to do a tripod lashing, make this into a little chair, so I've got somewhere to sit other than the bed, just because I want to use it really. Just get the old pillow out. The earlier you get these sort of pillows out, the better, because the more they fluff up a bit. And if you do have one of these and it's gone a little bit flat or it doesn't puff up as much as it used to, stick it in the tumble dryer for 10 minutes and it'll expand back to how it was when you first got it. It's by Thermarest. Not sponsored or anything, I bought this. Good pillow, I like them. And I've just got my sleeping bag. Quite a thin one, military one of the new ones. But I don't have my bivvy bag or anything. Still a bit warm out, don't really need it. Looks so cosy, I'm already excited for tonight. That's a proper little setup, isn't it? It's the view from bed. Got a little firewall there, I'm going to clear out that fire pit. So you might have seen the video from last year, I can't remember what month it was, November, December time. I walked the full length of East Anglia, from the most northern tip to the most southern tip. And I'm doing another charity hike this year. In November I plan to walk over 200 miles. I'm doing the Pedder's Way, which is an old Roman road to sea, which starts about 3-4 miles from my house. That's 46 miles up to the northwest coast of East Anglia on the North Norfolk coastline. And then that joins the Norfolk coast path, which is 89 miles, going round to the east. And then at Lowestoft, I think, or near there, you join the Suffolk coast path all the way down to Felixstowe. So it's going to be about 203 miles in total. I've booked myself some time off work. It's going to be for charity again, as I say. This time it's going to be for a charity called Veterans at Ease, which is a charity that's real special to me because they've personally helped me out like 3 years ago and I really needed the help. My dad put me onto them. A guy called Gareth, I had some one-to-one webcam sessions with him every week, all about neurological training and how to approach situations and think of situations differently. Basically it's a charity that helps people with PTSD. I'm going to leave a link in the description. I'm going to get the link open early so you guys can all donate if you want to. It would really mean a lot to me. As I say, it's something so special to me. After I got home from Afghanistan, my mate Simon committed suicide. It really kind of gave me an angst for the world, and that coupled with some certain situations that we were in out there, it meant that I didn't like the world. I wasn't doing that well in my day-to-day life. I was flying off the handle over nothing. So I want to do it for them this year. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the challenge. I'm looking forward to the adventure. I'm looking forward to testing myself. It's nearly double the length that I did the first time round, and I remember getting to Southend, the finish point of the last one, and I didn't want it to end, so I thought I'd go a bit bigger, a bit better. Hopefully we can raise even more money this year. It's going to be down to you guys. Obviously I'm going to donate as well. Let's try and spread the words, let's share the link around, get it up on Instagram, let's really push this. It'd be so nice to give back to that charity. And links down below, you legends. This wood's predominantly spruce, pine, some hazel. There's even some hornbeam in the distance, a little bit of beech and some silver birch at the other end. I've borrowed some camp furniture from a little spot we've got over the way called the Circle. We camp there in the tribe quite a lot. I've cleared this fire pit a little bit as well. And now I think it's time to go and cut some straights for our tripod that we're going to make the chair with. Just looking around camp, you can see there's already enough deadfall to easily make about 10 tripods. So we're not short of any building materials. Probably just about usable. It's a little bit rotten at the top, but if I use that, I'll probably cut it about here. Something like that. It's hard to get it across on camera how relaxing this can be. Just being out here with no one around, just trees, a few deer, some buzzards, some kites. That's how I find peace anyway. I'm not really a big fan of watching telly, but I've started watching that new Lord of the Rings prequel. What do you reckon? Has anyone seen that yet? It's pretty good. It's not Lord of the Rings though. Doesn't have the same feel yet. But Game of Thrones one as well. I've been watching that. That's really good. What's your thoughts on that? Okay, so how I do a tripod lashing, I just tie a double knot at the top and then pass it behind and front and behind, and then just keep going round, behind, in front. You're just weaving it through, and that's that simple. I try and keep them quite close together, just so it adds tension at the end. When you've done a good few weaves, you open it up a little bit and then go over like that. The same on the far side. And then you can just double knot it again. I use smaller straights purely because it's quicker, but for extra strength obviously use bigger ones. Beers for this afternoon / evening. I just brought 4 today. Got St Austell's Proper Job 5.5, Hobgoblin 4.5 which is a gold, a Doom Bar, love a Doom Bar, and love a Tribute, lovely Cornish beer. Shout out to Jeppo and Catherine for sponsoring some beers for me and for paying for tonight's meal. Thank you so much, guys. Just over here is some Mahonia, which is an edible berry. They're known as Oregon grapes. Not the nicest tasting things, but they're rich in vitamin C. Quite sour. Not the worst things in the world though. Whoa, watch the branch. I think I'm going to do an upside down fire today. Have all my big logs at the bottom, and they get smaller as they go up. Light it at the top, and it just burns downwards. Just been chopping a load of this spruce up. It's nice and dry. I've noticed there's been a lot less mozzies recently than midges, which is good. Right, the fire's sorted for tonight. I do a lot of wood processing on this channel because it's my favourite thing to do in bushcraft, making shelters and making fires. I'm not a proper bushcrafter, I'm not a purist, I don't hunt, I don't fish, I don't make things out of dead animals, not for any reason. I mean, I don't hunt because in my personal opinion I think there's enough animals dead on the shelves in Tesco, but I don't hate against anyone that goes hunting or wants to do that side of bushcraft at all. But anyway, here's the fire. We've gone with our chunky logs at the bottom, some split stuff, getting smaller and smaller, onto some kindling, and then we've got birch bark in there mixed with some feather sticks that I made earlier. The idea is one strike and it should be pretty maintenance free for a few hours. But I won't be lighting it until tonight, it'd just be a waste otherwise. I'm going to wait till it gets a little darker when I start getting hungry as well, but I think that looks really cool. Well, time definitely does go fast when you're having fun, because it's like 2 o'clock now. Time's gone nowhere, but it does mean we've earned ourselves a Hobgoblin Gold, which I'm going to enjoy. Definitely going to enjoy. Oh. And I'm probably going to turn the camera off and do nothing for a couple of hours. I'm probably just going to sit here, get at one with nature, just listen to what's going on around me, soak it all in and just chill out. This is why I do it, just chill out, do nothing. So I'll catch you in a little bit. Well, I've just fashioned up this little hazel Y-stick pourer for the coffee. Just a nice little camp utensil. I quickly just ran out of the rain to cut another piece of that dead spruce, and I've started marking out for a spatula. I want to keep a long-handled spatula in my kit. It's just going to be good to have for the Dutch oven, and this table fits perfect in here to work on. Spatula progress so far. This is just with the small hatchet. I haven't had to use the knife yet. Still a bit of work to go, but it's taking shape. Come in handy for the eggs in the morning. Got bacon and fried egg. So I've just cut a little Y piece, and I've got an idea for the little kitchen setup that I'm going to have tonight. I've got two straight pieces. I'm going to rest them on top of the firewall, cross them over, and then put my grill the other way, and then them two pieces can just rest on this Y. I'm just cleaning them up a little bit. Bit of bushcraft aesthetic. Thanks to everyone that came to the community camp in Scarborough last weekend, by the way. This one's for you. Cheers, that was a wicked weekend, thank you. Oh yeah, little call out though to Sherwood Quickquiver. Where are you, mate? I thought you were coming to the community camp. I thought I was going to meet you again. Shout out to Stereophonics for watching my videos on the tour bus. How mad's that? Go on the boys. Okay, we've had an hour and 45 minutes on the fire so far, but I'm going to start adding a bit more just to get the heat up, get the flames up, to heat up that little oven. I'll put a link as well down below for the insert. For those of you that can't make them yourselves, someone sent me one, which is really good. Some mixed beans in there, chorizos in the oven. The cheese is melting through with like the chorizo juice, and the bean just catches it all. Oh. Unfortunately the little bench didn't survive, it was really rotten and just split in two, so it's on the fire. Warm jumper is donned. I think that'll be me getting into my pit now. I shall see you in the morning. Ugh. Well, it's 1:30 in the morning and I've woken up to the sound of the rain on the top. And we're in a big lightning storm, loads of thunder. I've just used the seat tripod to prop this tarp up a little bit because it was actually starting to sag a little bit on the back of the shelter. Morning. Oh, that was so nice listening to the rain on the tarp last night. Thank you once again, my trusty DD tarp, keeping me dry. Looks like I've got a bit of processing to do on my hands this morning. I've got a bit of chopping and splitting to do to get to the dry stuff, but I am going to have a fire for breakfast because I haven't got anything else to cook with. So that's the plan, first thing, and then a coffee, and then egg and bacon. Phew! So the tree had already been felled by Ben and Elle on another camp, but apart from that I'd only put 15 minutes worth of work in this morning just to cut it down, split it, get in some kindling and a nice fire, bearing in mind the forest is soaking from last night. Again, do the prep properly and it's easy. Apologies for the fog, I think a bit of damp's got inside the lens overnight. Just put the water on to boil and I just brought the left arm over to the middle just to get the heat more centralised. Really good bits of kit, them little coffee presses. I've made one of them Amazon affiliate stores for all the kit that I rate, basically. A lot of people ask me about kit and where I get stuff from, so I've put a lot of it in one link in the description. Basically, if you buy anything through the link, then I get a little bit of commission. Oh, I want to say a big thank you to Haribo, by the way. It finally happened. One of the managers just happened to be watching the videos and he put an email forward to the marketing team or something and they sent me 3 big boxes of Star Mix, so thank you very much, legends. I'll probably be doing a giveaway of some Haribo or something. I don't know, I'll come up with something. We'll go with 2 and a bit. 2 and a bit, give us that extra kick. And I want to do a shout out to Colin's kids. Colin, who came to the community camp, absolute legend. He bought Catherine a jumper because at the Bushcraft show she made a comment about how nice his jumper was. And he remembered and got her a jumper very similar. And I thought that was such a kind thing to do that I gifted him a little axe, well, a bit of a big axe. And I said I'd give his kids a shout out, so we recorded a shout out at the community camp, so here you go. From the community camp, shout out to Molly, May and William.
Hello.
I'm here with your old father, he's a legend.
Alright kids,
Hope you guys are alright. Big love. Big love. It works. So this charity hike I'm doing in November, I'm not just doing it for the charity. If you're sat there watching YouTube videos and you know you could probably be spending your time a lot better, or you're sat there unmotivated, depressed, can't be bothered, I'm doing this for you as well, because I want to show you that if you dig deep enough and you really force yourself to get up and do something, you can do it. I was there, I've been sat exactly where you are, unmotivated, didn't want to do anything, pissed off at the world, and now I come out camping and it's really helped me, and I try and portray that all the time. I always talk about it because I really mean it when I say get out in nature. It's therapy for the mind. It's so good for you. Get motivated, get doing something and spend your time a lot better. Be self-aware. That was the biggest thing that I learned that's helped me. Being self-aware. Notice when you're messing up. Notice when you're not yourself. Notice when you're being a bit more snappy or a bit more angsty towards the people that you love, people you work with, your friends. Most of the time they're going to sense something's up with you anyway, but don't be afraid to say, yeah, something is up, and talk to them, tell them why. Right, I need to cook breakfast. So I'm going to be out camping solo again next week, and I'm off to re-record a video that I've already done, but I lost all the footage, so it should be a good watch, so look out for that one. Fire was completely out to the touch even before I added water to it, but I put a few litres on there just to soak it into the ground, mixed it with all the soaking forest floor and chucked it all back on top. Well, that's me pretty much all packed away now. I've just got my pelt and stuff to put away. I'm going to wait for the incense sticks to burn down, and the wind started to pick up, so I reckon it's going to rain again. Thanks very much for watching the video. If you want to keep up with all my camps or to see how the charity hike goes and all that, then please consider hitting the subscribe button. And if you want to see all my stills that I take on these camps, then chuck us a follow on Instagram. It's the same name, but I'll leave it down below anyway. Have a great week, get motivated and get yourselves out there. See what benefits it can do for you. Peace and love. Ciao.